Happy Friday, Houston. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Kim Castro. We made it to Friday after a couple of pretty rainy days. We had some storms roll through the area yesterday, so I want to first give you a couple of those rain totals that we got. For Harris County, there was definitely more rain the further north that you went. So if you live on Sky Lane, almost an inch of rainfall, almost an inch in Patton Forest Drive, right at an inch for Stable Park Drive. So good amounts there. Even all the way down to the Loop, we saw some healthy downpours. They didn't last very long though, that's why we didn't see a ton of accumulation, but about a quarter of an inch of rain area wide. If you're at Memorial, they came down right around 8:30 in the evening. Rice Military saw about 2/10 of an inch of rain. That was at Glen Cove. A little bit more for Queenswood Lane, 3/10 of an inch of rain there. For Rutland Street too, so the Heights got in on the shower activity. It is a good thing that we saw rain this week. This is our current drought monitor, so this gets released to us on Thursday. So it certainly didn't account the rain that we got yesterday. It actually didn't even take into account the rain that we got earlier this week either, because they stopped recording on Tuesday. So next week's drought monitor is going to give us some good improvements. So I'll give you those updates. But just so you're aware, our western cities and counties in the yellow aren't under a drought, but they're exceptionally dry. Then the level 1 moderate drought category does include part of Walker, part of Grimes, Washington, Austin, Colorado, Wharton, Matagorda, and a little part of Brazoria too. And then the further west that you go, things get worse. So then there's a severe drought, then there's an extreme drought, and then an exceptional drought. So the worst drought categories are for West Texas and Central Texas into San Antonio. So those are the spots that really need some rainfall accumulation. If you look at the map across the U.S., this is where the worst dry spots are. So the desert Southwest into Texas really needs some rain. We're seeing a couple of showers popping up this afternoon. There's a boundary moving in here, and we've got the sea breeze, so you'll notice that's fired off some shower activity, mainly north of Harris County. That's going to continue for a few hours, I'd say at least until about 2 o'clock. Let me give you a zoomed in view of the Loop and the Beltway. So we've got a shower there for Brookside Village, but that's really all the activity that there is to talk about here. Porter Heights, we're seeing some pockets of rain, and then most of the activity again further north, so Cleveland to Shepherd, even towards Liberty County, Clark, seeing some shower activity. Future track models have that continuing, like I said, until about 2 o'clock. So for the next hour and a half, if you are stepping outside, if you are driving, just know you might seeing some of that blinding rain. We are having some reflectivity values that are in the red, which means that the rainfall rate is pretty high. So keep that in mind. Maybe it's a good idea this weekend to check in on those windshield wipers. If you notice that you're kind of seeing a hazy fog on your windshield, it means it's time to replace them. Luckily, you won't have to drive through any rain tomorrow morning. We're waking up pretty mild tomorrow afternoon. You don't have to worry about showers, but it's definitely going to be warm and humid. Your Saturday looks really good for outdoor activities. Here's a live look from our Hotel Zaza camera. So this looks out towards the Med Center, and temperatures are warm. 83 degrees in Tomball. You're a spot that's seeing good sunshine right now. Otherwise, a mixture of mostly clouds, but a peak of sunshine in there. Bush Intercontinental Airport, 83 degrees. Tomball, also at 83 like I mentioned, and then 80 degrees for Conroe. Your hourly forecast looks like this. So we are going to warm up this afternoon, closer to 90 degrees. So 87 will be your high today. Plans tonight will be warm as well. Your sunset time is going to be 7:54, and you don't have to worry about the rain showers, like I said, tonight or even into the later part of the weekend and next week. Until we get to the middle of the week, that's when we start to see our dip in the jet stream. Our upper air pattern is going to shift. For now, the upper air pattern has a ridge of high pressure. I want to show that to you here again. So there's the ridge that blocks the storms to our north, and it keeps us nice and calm. But notice, boom, there's the dip. It starts on Wednesday, and that's how we're going to start to increase those rain chances then. So for now, 0, 0, 0. Even that green that you see for Sunday, that's just humidity. Wednesday, that's when we start to spike up the storm potential to 40%, and that will continue. So take advantage of the break that we got going on right now. And it's actually a perfect time to see a break because we've got lots of activities going on. We've got the Ironman in the Woodlands tomorrow. Forecast for that, warm and humid, 86 degrees. Also in the Woodlands, the golf tournament, that is going to be warm and humid. If you're going to the art bike parade, ooh, that's kind of a tongue twister. That's happening at the park and it's from 10 to 1, so at least you're not going to be outside during the hottest part of the day, which is right around 3-4 o'clock. So hey, that's a win, a couple degrees less warm for you. The humidity trend though is staying pretty steady, so dew points are going to be in the 60s. A couple of days they get close to the 70s, so you know what that means. Sticky outside, it feels warmer than the actual air temperature tells you. So if you're thinking to yourself, man, it is really hot outside, how hot is it? And you go check the temperature, you're like, gosh, it feels hotter. You're absolutely right, it does feel hotter because our bodies, when there's so much humidity out there, when we sweat, the sweat doesn't wipe or evaporate off your skin. It stays stuck on you, and that's why it feels even hotter. Because on a slightly cooler day or on a day with a breeze, not as much humidity in the air, when you sweat, it wipes it off and you cool off. That doesn't happen when we've got all this humidity. Overnight temperatures look like this: 71 degrees for the Heights, 71 for Woodgate, for Copperfield and Hunters Creek. Jersey Village, you'll dip down to 69 degrees. Cypress, 68. That's the same thing for Navasota, for Brenham. So we got a mixture of upper 60s to low 70s for tonight's forecast. Keep that in mind if you have early Saturday plans like I do. I'm going to go for an early Saturday morning run. So when I see a forecast like that, low 70s, humidity, I know I'm going to be sweating really fast. Tomorrow afternoon, 85 degrees for the Heights. We'll see a mixture of mid to upper 80s. So 87 degrees for Jersey Village. I think Bush Intercontinental Airport makes it up to 89 degrees, warm and oh so humid. So 7-day forecast looks like this. Today's isolated shower chances at 30%. We'll make it up to a high of 87. No rain tomorrow kicks us up to 89. No rain Sunday, even warmer, we get up to 90 degrees. You're still rain free Monday and Tuesday. And then, like I showed you, that dip in the jet stream come the middle of the week will have us ushering in some more rain chances. So plan accordingly. Hopefully you can fit in all the outdoor activities that you have been missing out on the last couple days from the rain. You can get to them this weekend. Okay, I want to show you one more time radar, just to give you a good idea in case you're headed out right now where the shower activity is. It's mainly north of the I-10 corridor. And it's really this cluster of storms that might cause you some issues if you're traveling up 5969. So Cleveland, Rayburn, Clark area, Moss Hill, seeing some showers. If you're staying in Harris County, you're just seeing a little rain here for Brookside Village. That's not a big deal. And you're seeing some shower activity north of the airport. So Porter Heights, starting to see some rain. Other than that, it's fairly quiet. It's going to be a nice mild Friday other than those few lingering showers that we've got going on right now. But that is all going to end right at 2:30 in the afternoon. Let's run through your remainder of your Friday forecast. Clear Saturday morning, cloudy, warm and humid, but otherwise you are not tracking disruptions by way of showers. That's great. Live look out there shows we've got plenty of cloud cover, lots of warmth, lots of humidity. Your high temperature today makes it up to 87 degrees. Beyond that, you'll get to enjoy part of the sun until 7:54. Nice and dry because of this ridge of high pressure. Then we see that dip in the jet stream, things turn unsettled for next week. So when do we start to increase those rain chances? Not till Wednesday. So you are fine to enjoy a weekend filled of festivities. Okay, take a screenshot, take a picture, do what you gotta do. You don't need to look far to have plans this weekend. I have them here for you. You can head to the Woodlands, either for the Ironman or the Chevron Championship if you want to watch some women's golf. 86 degrees there. Art Bike Fest and Parade is happening at Fondy Park That's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. 84 degrees there. Just bank on it being pretty humid. And pretty humid tomorrow morning too. So we're starting off in the low 70s area wide. We're going to max out tomorrow either in the low, mid, and upper 80s. Nice and calm. Here's one final look at your 7-day forecast. A nice break from the shower activity Saturday through Tuesday.